Warning, this is a movie discussion for people who've already seen the movie. If you haven't, it's literally just one big ass spoiler. There will be a brief synopsis at the beginning of these for the people who haven't seen the movie and don't care to, but for some reason want to know what I have to say about it. So, Doctor Strange is a fucking asshole. So let's just get that shit out the way real quick. And not even a cool, like, funny, charismatic, genuinely likable asshole like Tony Stark. He's just a regular old, selfish, narcissistic, condescending as fuck asshole. So, okay, now that we got that out the way, it seems like everybody really loves this movie, but if you ask them what they love so much about it, all of them say the visual effects. So, I get it. Everyone likes awesome Inception-inspired visual effects, no shade. But that's not the whole movie. There are characters, there's a plot in there somewhere. So let's skip past, the obvious, the visual effects, and start with what everyone seems to be ignoring. So Doctor Strange is played by Benedict Cumberbatch. He's a neurosurgeon, and basically his hands got really fucked up in an accident, so he sought healing at this place called Camertage. And he was guided in the mystic arts, by Baron Mordo, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, and the Ancient One, played by Tilda Swinton. So, my first dislike is actually Doctor Strange himself. And this would be the character, not the actor. Aside from the fact that, to me, there really wasn't much character development. At the very beginning, yeah, they do show you that he's really rich and smart and successful. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot of character development. There's also really no character growth. So the problem isn't that Doctor Strange is a self-absorbed asshole. The problem is that he pretty much stays a self-absorbed asshole to the end of the movie. He really honestly just doesn't give a shit about anyone but himself, to the point that he doesn't even bother with some of the more risky patients. So he won't ruin his perfect record like it's a fucking batting average or some shit. He's really pretentious. Even at Camertage, he's supposed to be humbling himself, but he's not. He's fucking with books they told him not to fuck with. He had no respect for anything that even remotely resembled a rule. And, rules are meant to be broken. I kind of understand, you got people who are rebels, and, those people sometimes accomplish great things. But, when the Ancient One has warned you that you could possibly destroy life as we know it in these arts that, yeah, he learns very quickly, but he's still no master at it. You might want to bring it down a notch, Doctor Strange. And this was just his attitude for the vast majority of the film. The point is you're supposed to grow, but he didn't. And it was just really, really difficult to relate to him because he's so stubborn and narcissistic. And by the time he, wakes up at the very end, it's too late. Like, dude, you're an asshole. You've been an asshole the whole time. Why were you an asshole for so long? I don't know. Moving on to the next dislike. So at Camertage, the people here they're trained to be sorcerers and masters. And they're trained to protect the earth against magical and mystical threats. So those are their words. They're the defenders of these three sanctums, right, that protect the earth. So that brings me to the next dislike. Okay, how do I put this? Where these motherfuckers at? Okay, it's some shit going down. And these niggas ain't nowhere to be found. Like, a dozen of them trained with Doctor Strange. So there should be plenty more where that came from. So do they not know the entire planet is under attack? And the war come down to like a 4-man army. And one of them niggas is the librarian. The previous librarian couldn't even defend the fucking library. So there's one master, it appears to be one master guarding each sanctum. Because there was one that there's this master in it, and the villain literally walks in there with his crew, and he's like, you know what, I'm about to kill you. And that was it. It's like that's not defending the earth, okay? Where are the rest of the sorcerers? Do y'all have an earth defending procedure? And not only are these sorcerers supposed to be mystical and shit, but they knew Caecilius, the villain, they knew he was coming. Him and Dormammu, they knew they were plotting from the very beginning. This was not a secret. and y'all didn't prepare for shit. They didn't do anything about it. Um, and that brings me to my next dislike, Caecilius. He's a villain or nemesis, whatever you want to call him. He's not very strong. He's not very convincing. He really doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Played by Mads Mikkelsen. The acting wasn't the problem. He just didn't have anything to work with. The character was very incompetent and one dimensional, confused looking a lot. He just kind of made up shit as he went along. There's nothing particularly special or extraordinary about him. He has the same powers as everybody else. Um, he doesn't. His character is kind of underdeveloped. His motives are questionable. They aren't very well communicated. He's just irritating. Like he just looks like somebody you just want to beat their ass. Like as soon as you see him, you know he's gonna start some shit like that. He just has this "I'm about to start some shit" look. So like you just need to beat his ass and get it over with. So my next dislike is the pacing. So don't get me wrong, this movie didn't need to be any longer than it was, but at the same time, Doctor Strange went from not even believing in mystical magic to conjuring weapons of mass destruction, all in like 15 minutes. Things were just happening really fast, and it's never communicated how much time has elapsed. So it's really choppy. It just kind of jerks forward like there's missing scenes or something, especially the first half. And then the final dislike is really just the plot, the story. I wasn't sold on it. It wasn't exciting. It lacked depth. It was okay. But we all know the movie made up for it in other places with, the effects, which I'm not denying at all. I really think the special effects did add a lot to this movie. So my likes, kind of, sort of. The acting was pretty good. Cumberbatch, he's a believable Doctor Strange. I actually thought he did very well. Ejiofor, he has a way of giving you everything you need to know about his character with just his expressions and body language. I really enjoyed him. I really enjoyed watching him. He was one of my favorite things about this film. And then there's the Ancient One, who doesn't like a kick-ass female lead? Even though in the comics she's an old Asian man, that's another story. Um, you know, I thought she was okay. I don't know. So overall, if you want a deep plot and substance, main character who doesn't reject growth, that's not what this is. But it was visually stunning. So I actually decided to give it a 7 out of 10. It wasn't perfect, but it was good. I think it was worth the watch. Follow me at MovieBuffChick1 on Twitter. That's MovieBuffChick1, the number one.